Hello dear viewers, welcome back to the channel. This is Maverick here, and it is time for Monogatari Mondays. So, back to our regularly scheduled program. Anyways, last episode we had Araki, going back to the past, and then apparently deciding that he's going to save Mayui's life, which I believe he did succeed in doing so. And in the process of doing that, changed the course of history, right? So at the very end there, he mentioned how the world came to an end. I'm not really sure if that's just an exaggeration on Aragi's part, but at the very least, I was expecting all the relationships, all the relationships between the characters and whatnot to be messed up. It's not really a good idea to change something, especially that far back into the past, right? Like, literally, and considering that it's also someone close to you as well, lots and lots of things can be changed. I mean, perhaps in the future, in the same future, Araki would not even know any of the other girls anymore. Hey, it's entirely possible, right? So, not really that much else to go on. I think we should just jump into the episode and see what exactly has changed and how they're gonna fix it. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, so Araki was not exaggerating when he said the world ended. And yet, this seems to be a relative recent ending, right? So, what kind of monster was released this time? Yep, and now immediately opening. So what could be the cause of this? Is it specific to Mayoi? Or is it more because of, the presence that Shinobu was talking about at the shrine? Yeah, perhaps it's not specific to Mayoi and more the fact that they utilize the magic power there to travel back and forth in time, right? I think I mentioned that last episode as well as part of my predictions. It's hard for me to imagine that Mayoi would be the one responsible for all of this. I think it's more of a byproduct of what they tried to do here. If that were the case, though, how exactly are they gonna fix it, right? So going back to the past and then stopping themselves from alright. Time travel. Am I right, guys? Reflect on my simple happiness. Like, what does Mayuri normally do as an aberration? What is wrong with Shinobu? She's been kind of out of it ever since the start of this arc. All humans disappeared? Or all life disappeared, actually? Oh? Have you tried the internet? And it happened relatively recently as well. Although considering there's like moss and all that growing, it's at least been like 5-10 years already. Yeah. Oh, so 2 months ago? That's the latest in newspaper. Alright, so only a few months. Actually, I'm not sure if it's just a few months. I wasn't. I didn't pay attention to the year. Give her some blood. I don't know, go find some surveillance cameras or something. Just to see what exactly happened. Alright, so 2 months. Would moss and all that grow so much in just 2 months? Eh, oh well. Well, no shit. That's a miracle. He still knows about Oshino at all. Oh, it's probably not a good idea. Oh, my-sama. That's a pretty interesting way to call him. The hell? Don't tell me all the humans turned into this. The talisman? Zombies are aberrations? Okay. Damn. They're everywhere. I mean, what is worse? Having every single person in the world disappear, or all turn into zombies? What used to be vampires? Was none other than Heart Under Blade. So probably the gathering of magic energy, or the gathering of energy to 11 years in the past, was exactly her, right? Or no, what's that? Or maybe the energy was used to contain her? Oh, what is this? Like I Am Legend or something? Two months ago. That was when she met Aragi? Hmm? Was it when? Was it in June though? The school festival. Wait, it was that? I mean, yeah, this is all the way back in Bake. And I did sort of, question, like, what was that entire side story with Shinobu? And that basically ended, yeah, it was solved rather uneventfully. And I was like, what was the reason for that? That's because she couldn't get her ice cream? Something like that? Or donuts? And you're not going into the details? Girl. Okay. And why did you have the power to do that at that time? Ah, was it Mayoi that... Yeah, it was Mayoi that told our... Yeah! She was the one who told. She was the one who told him. Oh, so what happens when one person dies? I would expect so. Oh. She returns to being Heart Underblade? That's how it works? Okay. Okay, so that answers how she got that power then. But even so, like... And nobody can stop you? Ah, okay, that makes sense. You're taking this awfully in stride, Aragi. Well, that was a fast rainstorm. Like, come on. You can't seriously tell me that that in the entirety of the world, that shrine was the only place with energy gathering in it. I guess he's just deciding to have some fun while he can. Are those two? Is what? And I thought Shinobu would be able to get enough power to time travel again if she just sucks some blood from Aragi. Alright. Who's gonna show up? Well, it's tonight. What were you guys expecting? Alright. Anyways, see you guys after this. Well, there we go. That is episode 8, and apparently they weren't kidding when they said the world had ended. Literally, everybody is gone, turned into a zombie, etc., and so on and so forth, right? And to think that is all the result of Shinobu or Heart Underblade, right? And the funny thing here is, and I guess the rather impressive thing here is that this was foreshadowed very long ago, all the way back in Bake. And I remember specifically, I think I mentioned that point back in, I think it was the last episode or the episode before that, in that, no, what was that entire scene with Shinobu running away? What purpose did that accomplish, right? Like, why did we have this seemingly random scene within the anime? And so apparently, even back at that point, the author had already made a decision that, okay, in the future, this is how the story is going to go. It's going to tie back with this. So very, very impressive. I gotta admit. So yeah. So as for what is actually happening here, right? There are two sort of weird, strange, funny things right now that I think actually sort of cancel each other out. So one thing is that I think Shinobu and Aragi are definitely acting too nonchalantly about the whole situation. Like literally the world has ended, and yet they're carrying on as if nothing has happened, and this is just a minor inconvenience or something like that. Shinobu I can kind of understand. I mean, she isn't really one who has any lingering desires to this world or whatnot. I think she only cares about Aragi, right? That much. So we can put her aside for now. But for Aragi's case, like literally all the loved ones that he has, like his sisters, Senjugahara, like all the other girls and whatnot, you would think that he would be kind of freaking out and whatnot at this point, instead of acting so calm and collected. And I think the reason for that is because of the second weird thing that I'm going to mention now, and that is, you know, they aren't exactly stuck here, right? They specifically stated, I think Shinobu specifically stated last episode, or even back in episode 1, that even though she was borrowing the spirit energy from the shrine in order to open this sort of time portal, she could totally do it by herself as well, as long as Aragi gave her some blood, right? Once she regained some of her powers, then she is able to do something like travel through time once again, and so then they can, go around and try to make things right again, right? And not only that, but I find it very hard to believe that out of the entire world, literally only that shrine is one where spiritual energy can gather, right? Like, that doesn't really make sense at all. So I think that's why Araki is not making as big a deal as I think he should be, because at the back of his mind he knows that there are still some alternatives here. So basically he's just staying here in order to, I don't know, to cure out Shinobu's story, right? To see what it exactly is troubling her, what's bothering her, etc., etc. So I think I had these two questions, but they sort of cancel each other out rather nicely here. Now, of course, it could not be any of this kind of situations that I mentioned, but to me, at least, it kind of makes sense, so I'm not going to dwell too much on it. So yeah, as for the destroying the whole world part, well, first of all, the intention part, right? I do have to seriously wonder, like, what Shinobu would actually do if Aragi did not die. Like, even if she did still harbor the feelings of wanting to annihilate the world, I don't really think she could have done anything about it if Aragi did not die. But yeah, so I mean, she's basically acting like a child wanting attention, right? I kind of forgot the specifics of what happened back then in Bake. I think she was under the care of Oshino at that time, and only hold on, let me think about that. Oshino had just left, right? So he was leaving Shinobu in Aragi's care. So that was literally the time when she tried to run away, and then she later came to the conclusion that she wanted to stay by Araki, and I think that's basically what happened here, right? And I also think my memory is a little bit fuzzy here, but I think Aragi first went out to look for Shinobu first before confronting Black Hanekawa, and it was because of that, so he was able to have Shinobu by his side while he was confronting Black Hanekawa, and so Shinobu helped subjugate her, right? So I think that's how the logic goes, anyways. Well, as for for Aragi dying and then Heart Underblade actually being able to destroy the world, I find that also kind of unbelievable as well. It definitely requires some suspension of this of belief. Not that I'm saying Heart Underblade isn't strong. It's just that she's definitely not invulnerable, right? I mean, considering back then when we first met Heart Underblade back in Kizu, the situation that she met Aragi in. So obviously she is still mortal, she can still be harmed, she can still be brought to the point of death. It's just a matter of, like, who exactly was the one who, like, what circumstances caused her to get into that sort of situation, if she really was this powerful, right? And considering that all the other, like the Oshinos and whatnot that we've seen so far, I think they are all pretty damn strong in of themselves, right? And I'm sure that there's even more people in the world that are that are even stronger. So, kind of a suspension of disbelief, but what the hell? It's for the fun of the story, I guess. Yeah. So, anyways, what exactly are they supposed to do, right? So I do believe that they should be finding a way to go back to the past once again, either through Araki giving blood or finding some other sort of a spiritual energy gathering spot or something like that. And perhaps, I mean, all they can really do is try to make things right again, right? I don't think that they are going to try and intervene in the middle, like, say, for instance, going back in this timeline to when Shinobu went missing and then bring her back to Araki or something like that. I think if they really wanted to fix something, they would have to go all the way back to the start of the problem. Perhaps not even stopping Aragi from saving Mayui, but perhaps even before that, and stopping the entire time travel thing happening in the first place, right? I know time travel is always kind of a finicky subject when we consider the the logical progression of stuff. So not really sure there, but I'm sure it has something to do with them traveling back to the past again to make things right. It's just a matter of what kind of specifics they're going to do. But yeah, there you go. That's it for episode 8 of the Monogatari series. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will see you guys next time as well. Stay tuned, and bye-bye.